Hello. The house around you is finally quiet tonight. But I know your mind is certainly not. I know exactly why you are still awake right now, staring into the dark. Your eyes might be physically closed, but I can deeply feel how tight your chest is and how your entire brain has been completely hijacked by someone else, someone who constantly twists the truth, manipulates your reality, and leaves you feeling completely drained and doubting yourself. You're lying there in the silence, replaying their toxic words over and over again, desperately trying to make sense of something that was intentionally designed to be senseless. It is incredibly unfair. Is it not? That the person who caused this deep emotional wound is probably sleeping soundly right now, while you are left here wide awake, carrying the heavy, crushing burden of their manipulative energy. Why do you always have to be the one suffering and analyzing every little detail at 2 a.m? Listen to my voice right now. Shh. You absolutely do not have to fight this invisible psychological battle alone tonight. We're going to do something completely different to stop this loop by combining the precise soothing power of clinical sleep hypnosis to completely cool down your burning nervous system, with the profound healing wisdom of Carl Jung regarding your energetic boundaries. We are going to permanently evict that toxic person from your mental space. I know how deeply and truly tired you are. You have spent all day walking on fragile eggshells, trying your best to keep the peace and constantly managing their unpredictable emotions. That strong protective mask you wear every single day is getting far too heavy to hold up. But right here, right now, in this perfectly safe and protected darkness, you do not need to wear it anymore. You do not need to figure them out. You do not need to defend your reality to anyone in just a few short moments. We will begin a deep and peaceful journey into your unconscious mind to finally cut those exhausting, energetic cords that bind you to them. But for right now, just pull your soft blanket up a little higher around your shoulders. Let go of the desperate need to control the narrative or win the argument in your head. Just close your heavy, tired eyes, sink into the mattress, and simply breathe with me. Your physical body has been running on pure adrenaline and heavy cortisol, because your primal brain genuinely believes you are still under an active attack. When someone constantly manipulates your reality, your delicate nervous system simply cannot tell the difference between a physical threat to your life and an emotional threat to your invisible boundaries. So right now, as you lie in this completely quiet room, your heart might still be beating a little too fast. Your breathing might be painfully shallow, entirely trapped in your upper chest, unable to reach your belly. You are currently locked in a relentless fight or flight mode, waiting for the next argument to drop. But tonight, we are going to manually override that exhausted system together. We are going to actively use your vagus nerve to send a powerful, direct clinical signal to your racing brain that the immediate danger has completely passed. The vagus nerve acts as the biological brake pedal for your entire nervous system. And right now, we are about to press it down very gently, but very firmly. I want you to gently bring your full conscious attention to your physical body. Just notice how incredibly tightly you are holding yourself together right now, as if you need to be perfectly ready to defend yourself at any given unseen moment. There is absolutely no one here to fight anymore. The heavy battle is completely over for tonight. The door is locked, and they cannot reach you here. Let us begin this physical release by locating the hidden tension deeply embedded in your face. I want you to focus entirely on the tiny, exhausted muscles around your eyes. They have been aggressively straining all day, trying to read into every little unpredictable mood swing, every subtle shift in their tone of voice. Let those muscles completely soften and melt away. Now slowly move your deep awareness down to your lower jaw. Shh. You are more than likely clenching your teeth together right now, without even realizing you are doing it. This tight, restricted space is exactly where you unconsciously store all the angry words you desperately wanted to scream at them, but ultimately had to swallow. just to keep the fragile peace. Unclench your jaw right now. Let your tongue gently drop away from the roof of your mouth. Feel the immediate, profound relief flooding into your cheeks as you finally let go of that stiff defensive armor. Now we are going to perform a specific pattern of clinical breathing to physically force your elevated heart rate to slow down to a deep resting state. We will breathe in deeply for 4 seconds, hold that breath steadily for 7 seconds, and exhale very slowly for 8 seconds. This exact mathematical rhythm physically forces your sympathetic nervous system out of survival mode and pushes you deep into parasympathetic rest. Let us do it together right now. Very slowly. Inhale deeply through your nose. Gathering peace for 1. Gathering peace for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it right there for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now exhale slowly out through your mouth, like you are blowing through a tiny straw. Like you are blowing through a tiny straw for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. That is so incredibly good. Let us do that precise cycle just one more time. Inhale deeply, gathering all that frantic mental energy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it, holding on to your newfound control. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And exhale, blowing all of their lingering toxic energy completely out of your physical body. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. De-est. 2. That heavy feeling is simply the leftover adrenaline finally leaving your bloodstream. Now slowly bring your healing awareness down into the back of your neck and your heavy shoulders. This is the exact physical place where you have been silently carrying the crushing weight of their impossible expectations and their endless manipulation. I want you to mentally detach that massive invisible weight right now. Let your tired shoulders melt deeply into the soft bed below you. Your muscles do not need to hold you up anymore. The solid bed is fully supporting your entire weight now. You can finally stop carrying the exhausting burden of trying to understand someone who is strictly committed to misunderstanding you. Move your gentle attention into your center chest space, right over your beating heart. Your heart has been heavily guarded for so very long. You had to build a thick, heavy fortress around it, just to survive their unpredictable emotional games. But right here, in this perfectly quiet darkness, you simply do not need that heavy steel armor anymore. Let your chest fully open up and expand. Let your breathing become entirely natural and completely effortless. Every single time you softly exhale, you're actively pushing their dark, lingering presence completely out of your physical body and your energetic field. They are rapidly losing their invisible grip on your nervous system. With every single breath you take, your physical body is finally returning to its natural state of profound healing peace. You are successfully reclaiming your own biology. You are deeply anchored in the present moment, completely safe, untouched, and entirely your own. Your physical body is finally starting to sink deeper and deeper down into the soft mattress. But I know. There is still a small, guarded part of you that is desperately clinging to the deep unfairness of it all. Let us pull back the curtain and talk honestly about that massive, invisible heavy load you have been silently carrying all day long. It is the profoundly exhausting mental labor of constantly trying to decode someone else's intentionally mixed signals, trying to figure out what they really meant behind that subtle tone of voice. or wondering in the dark if you are actually the one who is going crazy. When you are dealing with a deeply manipulative or narcissistic person, the absolute hardest part is not even the harsh words they actually say to your face. It is the silent, crushing weight of their projected insecurities that they somehow forcefully hand over for you to carry for them. They carelessly dump all of their unhealed emotional garbage right onto your shoulders, and then they just walk away, feeling perfectly fine and light, leaving you completely alone to sort through the heavy, chaotic mess in the dark. You have spent so much of your precious, irreplaceable life energy trying to carefully navigate their wildly unpredictable moods, walking on tiptoes around them, constantly monitoring your own behavior, hoping against hope that if you just say the exact right thing, or do the exact right thing, they will finally see your worth and treat you with just basic human respect. You have likely caught yourself replaying arguments, trying to find the exact moment where things went wrong, trying to gather the logical proof of their manipulation, because they love to twist the reality. Do they not? They say things like, "Ty, I never said that," or "You are just being way too sensitive." That is called gaslighting, and it is a deliberate psychological weapon designed to completely destabilize your trust in your own mind. It makes you question your own memory, your own sanity, and your own profound worth. But the absolute truth is, it was never actually about what you did or what you did not do. Their toxic, manipulative behavior is entirely about them. It is a direct reflection of their own fractured, deeply insecure inner world, a terrifying world that they flatly refuse to look at or heal. And so, instead of doing their own hard work, they project all of their own dark shadow onto you. They actively make you feel like you are the chaotic problem, simply so they do not ever have to look at themselves honestly in the mirror. I want to deeply and completely validate your profound exhaustion right here and right now. Shh. You are incredibly, physically tired because you've been doing the heavy emotional work of two entirely different people. You are holding the immense, impossible burden of trying to single-handedly keep the peace in a toxic situation that they intentionally designed to be constantly chaotic. It is deeply, profoundly unfair, and it is entirely okay, and actually very healthy. If you feel incredibly angry about it right now, your anger is valid. Your anger is simply your violated boundaries, loudly telling you that you deserve so much better than this treatment. But holding on to that fiery anger tonight, analyzing their behavior at 2 a.m, is only continuing to punish yourself for their terrible, broken behavior. You simply do not need to figure them out anymore. You're not their personal therapist. You're not their emotional punching bag, and you are not responsible for fixing their broken soul. I want you to mentally take all of their projected shame, all of their twisted words, and that heavy invisible load, and just let it slip right off your tired shoulders. Let it slide off your tired shoulders. Let it slide off your chest and fall heavily onto the floor beside your bed. Let the earth absorb that toxic waste. It is simply not yours to carry for one more single second. Just let it go and breathe. Let us take a much closer and deeper look at this person who has been aggressively taking up so much precious space inside your head tonight. When you are deeply caught in their confusing web of manipulation, when you are standing right in the middle of their chaotic storm, they can seem incredibly large and impossibly powerful. They project this rigid image of absolute certainty, moving through the world as if they are always fundamentally right, and you are always fundamentally flawed. But the great psychologist Carl Jung taught us a very important lesson about something he called the persona. The persona is simply a mask. It is nothing more than a carefully fabricated theatrical character they desperately play every single day, just to hide their own terrifying and profound emptiness from the world. Behind that loud, intimidating, and arrogant mask, they are absolutely not the powerful and confident figure they pretend to be. If you look very closely right now, behind all of their cruel, calculated words, and behind their constant, exhausting need to control every aspect of your reality, there is just a deeply insecure, fragile, and frightened shadow. They manipulate you. They twist your words, and they gaslight your memories, simply because they are absolutely terrified of losing control. They constantly put you down and criticize your light, because they cannot generate their own internal sense of self-worth. So they have to aggressively steal yours. It is actually quite tragic and incredibly sad when you really take a step back and think about it. You've been giving all of your beautiful life force and your power away to a complete illusion. You have been terrified of the wizard without realizing it is just a small, frightened person pulling levers behind a curtain. You have to understand that they desperately need your intense emotional reactions just to feel alive. When you get angry and argue back, when you cry out of deep frustration, when you desperately try to logically explain your heart to them for the 100th time, you are handing them exactly what they crave on a silver platter. You are actively feeding their empty, starving ego with your pure energy. But tonight, right here in this safe space, we are going to permanently stop feeding them. I want you to intentionally visualize them right now in your mind's eye. Bring their image into this quiet room, but this time, do not see them as the scary, towering monster they always pretend to be. I want you to strip away their loud voice and their aggressive posture. See them exactly as they truly are beneath it all. See a small, deeply fragile, emotionally stunted shadow, desperately hiding behind a very heavy, cracking theatrical mask. Just notice how their false power over you instantly begins to shrink and fade away when you finally see the naked truth. They cannot manipulate you. They cannot hurt you. And they cannot control you. If you simply refuse to pick up the script and play their exhausting game, you are the one with the actual authentic power here. You are the one with a deep, resilient, and beautiful capacity for genuine empathy, connection, and love. They are merely a broken, distorted mirror, desperately trying to reflect back a twisted version of your beautiful light. Shh. You do not have to fix that broken mirror. It is not your job to glue their fractured pieces back together. You just have to simply stop looking into it for your own reflection. In your mind right now, let their heavy porcelain mask slip and fall completely to the floor, shattering into 1,000 harmless pieces. Watch how incredibly small and insignificant they become in the vast, infinite space of your peaceful mind. They're just a fading shadow now, losing their shape, losing their voice, and completely losing their grip on your reality. Let them shrink until they are nothing more than a tiny speck of dust, easily blown away by your next deep exhale. Now that you finally see how incredibly small and insignificant their false power really is, we are going to gently and peacefully leave this exhausting waking state completely behind us. You have done more than enough overthinking for one single day. You have analyzed enough. You have worried enough. And you have carried the heavy toxic burden for far too long. It is finally time to let your analytical conscious mind completely shut down and rest for the night. I am going to slowly count backwards from 10, all the way down to 1, with every single number I softly speak. I want you to physically feel your entire body sinking twice as deeply into the soft, supportive mattress beneath you. You are actively stepping away from their chaotic noise and stepping deeply into your own protected, sacred internal sanctuary. 10. Gently letting go of the entire day. Just feel the heavy, exhausted muscles in your feet and your legs becoming completely loose, sinking heavily into the bed. The physical tension is literally draining out of your toes. 9. Intentionally dropping the desperate need to understand their toxic behavior. Let that specific file in your brain completely close. You simply do not need to figure anything out anymore tonight. just let the slow falling numbers guide you down into the comforting dark. 8. 8. Your beautiful mind is starting to become wonderfully and peacefully empty. All of those loud, intrusive voices that were arguing in your head are rapidly fading away into a very distant, unrecognizable whisper. They are losing all their meaning. 7. Sinking deeper and deeper into this perfect, quiet darkness. There is a heavy, warm blanket of clinical peace wrapping tightly around your tired shoulders. The outside world is completely shutting off. You are perfectly and completely safe here. 6. Drifting much further down now. Feel a soothing, warm wave of deep physical relaxation gently washing over your chest, completely unwinding the tight defensive knots around your guarded heart. 5. Floating further and further away from their manipulative energy. You are leaving their entire chaotic world far behind you on the distant shore, while you slowly drift out into the calm, silent, open water of your own subconscious mind. 4. Your natural breathing is becoming so incredibly slow and so profoundly steady now. You're effortlessly floating on a calm, endless ocean of deep healing peace. You do not have to hold yourself together for anyone anymore. Free, the heavy physical world around you is completely melting away into the soft shadows. There's absolutely nothing left to do, nobody left to please, and nowhere left to be. There is only the steady, calming sound of my voice and the slow, rhythmic rise and fall of your own relaxing chest. And the slow, rhythmic rise and fall of your own relaxing chest. 2. Drifting so incredibly close to the edge of deep, restorative sleep right now. Their face, their harsh words, their negative energy are all completely erased and banished from this pristine mental space. Nothing can possibly disturb this perfect, heavy stillness that belongs entirely to you. And 1. Completely let go of the very last thread of control. Aim. Nay, surrender to the deep healing rest you so richly deserve. As you continue to sink deeper and deeper into this heavy, peaceful state of rest, a part of you might still gently wonder, beautiful brain, keep holding on to them. Why do their cruel words and confusing actions keep loudly echoing in the quiet halls of your mind, especially late at night? Even when you consciously and desperately want them completely gone? Let us take a slow moment to understand the profound clinical reason behind this exhausting midnight loop. Your brain is fundamentally designed to be a brilliant, protective problem-solving machine. When someone manipulates you, gaslights you, or treats you with unpredictable toxicity, they are essentially presenting your logical brain with an utterly impossible psychological puzzle. They say one thing to your face, but their actions do the exact opposite. They cause you immense emotional pain, but then they expertly twist the narrative to act like they are the ultimate victim. Your logical, empathetic brain simply cannot process this deep, fundamental contradiction. This constant confusion creates what clinical psychologists call an open cognitive loop. Your mind stays on high alert, wide awake in the dark, desperately trying to close that loop, trying to make logical sense of a situation that is inherently senseless. Your brain absolutely hates unresolved issues, so it keeps replaying the tape over and over again, hoping to finally find the missing piece of the puzzle. But here is the profound, liberating truth that your tired heart desperately needs to hear tonight. You simply cannot logically solve a puzzle that was intentionally designed by them to be permanently broken. Their chaotic behavior does not make sense because it does not come from a place of logic or love. It comes directly from their own deep psychological fractures, from their own unhealed, terrifying shadow. The great psychiatrist Carl Jung taught us that people who completely refuse to face their own inner darkness, who run away from their own deep insecurities, will inevitably and aggressively project that exact same darkness onto the people closest to them. They essentially handed you a very heavy, distorted mirror, a mirror that was only reflecting their own deepest shame and their own profound emptiness. And through relentless manipulation, They slowly convince you that it was actually your reflection. But it's not you. It has absolutely never been about you. Your exhaustion simply comes from your beautiful brain trying to fluently understand a toxic language of manipulation. That your pure, honest heart simply does not speak. Once you truly and deeply understand this clinical reality, the heavy hypnotic spell they cast over you is completely broken. You do not need to figure them out anymore. You do not need to endlessly analyze their hidden motives. You can simply look at that frustrating open loop in your mind right now and consciously choose to permanently close the heavy file. You can gently and lovingly tell your exhausted, overworked brain that there is absolutely nothing left to solve here tonight. The mathematical equation of their behavior is fundamentally broken, and that is entirely their tragedy to live with, not your problem to fix. Just physically feel the incredible, washing relief of that profound realization. Your brain no longer needs to work the exhausting night shift, trying to protect you from their psychological games. The complicated case is permanently closed. The heavy, toxic file is finally put away on a dusty shelf. Never to be opened again. Your mind is naturally and effortlessly returning to its original state of quiet. Peaceful clarity. You are completely safe to drop the investigation. You are completely safe to let the entire illusion go. To release their heavy shadow from your beautiful mind and just drift away into the deepest, most healing sleep. Because as you rest here in this heavy, protected stillness, I want to speak directly to the deepest, most compassionate part of your tired heart. Let us talk honestly about exactly why you are the one who is hurting so profoundly tonight. While they seem to be completely unaffected by the chaotic storm they have caused, you see, you have a deeply beautiful, almost infinite capacity for genuine empathy. You possess what the great psychologist Carl Jung might refer to as the archetype of the good woman, or the ultimate caregiver. You naturally and instinctively want to heal the broken people around you. You desperately want to understand their underlying pain, to figure out why they act the way they do. And you hold on to this pure, innocent hope that if you just love them hard enough and show them enough patience, they will finally understand your pain in return. When there's a sharp conflict or a painful misunderstanding, your immediate instinct is to communicate, to sit down and openly explain your fragile feelings, to carefully build a bridge of mutual respect and understanding. But this beautiful, radiant trait of yours is exactly the very thing that a highly manipulative and toxic person intentionally weaponizes against you. They know exactly how your empathetic mind works. They know that you will always keep trying to fix the unfixable. They know that if they just give you a tiny, pathetic crumb of hope, or if they act like they simply do not understand what they did wrong, you will completely exhaust your own life force trying to patiently explain it to them for the 100th time. Think about all those long, desperate text messages you have typed out with shaking hands, trying to perfectly articulate your hurt, hoping that this time the words will finally break through their thick armor. And what happens? They either ignore it, give you a cold one-word reply, or completely twist your careful words to make you look like the crazy one. You keep handing them the delicate, sacred manual to your beautiful heart, and they keep intentionally shredding it right in front of your eyes. It is an endless, soul-draining cycle of you constantly over-explaining your basic human needs, and them aggressively feigning ignorance. I want you to listen to me very carefully right now. They do not misunderstand you because you are bad at communicating. They misunderstand you because they are entirely committed to misunderstanding you. Understanding you would require them to take accountability. And that is the one thing they are absolutely terrified of doing. This is where we need to gently awaken a very important part of your psyche tonight. We need to talk about the shadow of the good woman. In Jungian psychology, Your shadow is not evil. It is simply the part of your true self that you have deeply repressed and hidden away because society or your family taught you it was bad, selfish, or unlovable. For a deeply empathetic person like you, your shadow contains your righteous anger. It contains your strict, unyielding boundaries. It contains the part of you that is actually allowed to be fiercely cold, unapologetic, and ruthlessly protective of your own energy. You've been so incredibly afraid of being seen as the bad guy in their twisted, distorted narrative that you have continuously allowed them to cross your borders and completely destroy your inner peace. You have swallowed your own valid anger to keep a fake peace. But tonight, right here in the absolute safety of this dark room, I'm giving you the absolute permission to fully embrace that protective shadow. You do not have to be the endlessly understanding one anymore. You do not have to be the perpetual bigger person who always turns the other cheek and absorbs the brutal impact of their toxic behavior. It is perfectly okay to drop the heavy burden of being the good woman for someone who consistently treats you poorly. Let your shadow rise up and stand guard at the heavy iron doors of your mind. Allow yourself to feel the incredibly liberating power of simply not caring what they think of you anymore. If they want to paint you as the villain in their delusional story, let them. Their twisted story does not dictate your actual reality. Let them have their absolute wrong opinion of you. You do not need to defend your character to a court of clowns. You do not need to win an argument with a brick wall. Feel the incredible, profound lightness that washes over your entire physical body as you finally surrender the desperate need to be understood by them. You're taking all of your precious power back right now. The bridge is burned. The door's locked. And your energy is entirely your own again. Just breathe deeply into that powerful, empty space. And let the heavy illusion completely fade away as you continue to float in this deeply relaxed, heavy state. I want you to simply listen to a story right now. A very special therapeutic story about a beautiful, secluded house. I want you to vividly imagine that your mind, your deep, vast inner world, is actually a magnificent, ancient house located deep within a silent, snow-covered winter forest. It is a breathtaking house that you have spent your entire life carefully building, layer by layer, brick by brick. Every single room in this house is warmly illuminated and filled with your most precious memories, your quiet passions, and your beautiful, boundless capacity for love and empathy. Right in the very center of this grand house is a massive stone fireplace, constantly radiating a deep, comforting, golden warmth that reaches every corner. You are the absolute, undisputed sole owner of this sacred space. You are the one who holds the only heavy iron key. But lately, over these past few weeks or months, you have unfortunately allowed a very loud, incredibly rude, and completely chaotic guest to stay here. You know exactly who this specific guest is. They walk right through your beautiful front door without ever wiping their feet, arrogantly tracking cold, toxic, dark mud all over your pristine wooden floors. They came inside and almost immediately started criticizing how you decorated your own life, aggressively demanding your constant, undivided attention, and selfishly rearranging your emotional furniture to perfectly suit their own endless needs. They essentially brought the freezing, chaotic winter storm from the outside, right into the middle of your peaceful, warm living room. And because you are the archetype of the good woman, because your caring heart is so incredibly accommodating and patient, you have exhausted all of your precious energy trying to make them comfortable. You kept serving them warm tea, constantly apologizing for things you did not even do, walking on eggshells, desperately hoping that if you were just hospitable enough, if you just explained yourself clearly enough, they would finally treat your sacred home with basic human respect. But the painful truth is, they never did. They only relentlessly took up more and more space, sucking all the oxygen out of the room, until you slowly started to feel like a nervous, frightened stranger in your very own home. You have been hiding in the dark corners of your own mind, terrified to make a sound that might upset their fragile ego. But tonight, right here and right now in this deep, protected hypnotic state, something fundamental and incredibly powerful is shifting deep inside of your chest. You look down at your open hand, and you suddenly realize you are holding the heavy, cold iron key to the front door. You suddenly remember the absolute, undeniable truth that you had forgotten. You own this house. You built these walls. You never ever needed their permission to exist here. This is your completely sovereign, sacred territory. Just physically feel a sudden, massive surge of quiet, unstoppable strength rising up from your belly right now. You slowly stand up tall. You walk directly over to this chaotic, that arrogant guest. You do not yell at them. You do not cry. You absolutely do not try to logically over-explain your feelings to them anymore, because you finally understand that they are committed to never listening. You simply walk right past them with absolute authority, and you pull open the heavy, solid oak front door. You can instantly feel the sharp, biting cold wind from the outside hitting your face. But you are completely unafraid of it anymore. Shh. You look them dead in the eye, and with a voice that is completely calm, chillingly quiet, and tillingly steady, you simply point your finger to the open door. You silently command them to leave your space immediately. They might try to argue with you. They might try to manipulate the situation one last time. They might throw a desperate emotional tantrum to make you feel deeply guilty. But you are completely, entirely emotionally detached. You are watching them like a scientist watching an experiment. They are just a fading ghost making useless noise. You step forward, and you gently, but with absolute, uncompromising iron firmness, push their heavy, toxic shadow right out the door and into the freezing and the snow. They stumble backward into the dark, and then you grab the heavy brass handle, and you slam the thick oak door completely shut. You immediately turn the heavy iron deadbolt. Click. I want you to just listen to that profound, absolute, magnificent silence that instantly fills the entire room. The chaotic storm is permanently locked outside. The demanding voice is completely muffled by the thick wooden walls. They absolutely cannot reach you here anymore. They cannot touch your peace. You take a massive, deep breath of fresh, clean air, and you very slowly exhale. You look around your beautiful, quiet home. The toxic mud on the floor is already magically fading away, leaving everything spotless and pure. You walk slowly back to the roaring, warm fire. You sink down into your favorite, softest chair, and you wrap a heavy, weighted, comforting blanket tightly around your relaxing shoulders. You are finally entirely around your relaxing shoulders. You are finally entirely alone. You are finally completely safe. Your beautiful mind is entirely your own again. Just rest now, sinking deeper and deeper into this perfect, uninterrupted, golden warmth. Now that the heavy oak door is permanently locked, and the chaotic winter storm is completely shut out of your space, I want you to turn your attention even deeper inside this beautiful, quiet house. Somewhere in this vast, completely peaceful space of your mind, there is a much smaller, much younger version of you. This is your inner child. This deeply sensitive, incredibly fragile part of your psyche has been absolutely terrified by the loud noises, the harsh words, the kettling, and the deeply unpredictable, cruel behavior of the toxic guest we just completely evicted. Your innocent inner child does not understand complex adult manipulation, or Jungian psychological projection, or the deeply twisted, confusing games of a manipulative narcissist. All they truly know is that they felt profoundly unsafe, deeply unloved, and constantly criticized in a place that was entirely supposed to be their ultimate sanctuary. I want you to vividly and slowly imagine walking through the warm, illuminated hallways of your peaceful mind until you finally find them. They might be hiding in a dark corner of a quiet room, or sitting silently on the floor with their knees pulled up to their chest, still visibly trembling from the heavy emotional storm that just passed. Walk over to them, very, very slowly. Do not rush this delicate moment. Gently sit down right beside them on the floor, making yourself completely approachable and soft. Look deeply into their exhausted, tearful eyes. In their eyes, you can clearly see all the lingering fear. In their eyes, you can clearly see all the lingering fear, all the painful confusion, and all the desperate, tasking need for validation that the manipulative person coldly refused to ever give them. You can see how incredibly hard they have been trying to be perfect, just to avoid being yelled at or emotionally abandoned. Slowly reach out and wrap your strong, protective arms completely around this smaller, fragile version of yourself. Draw them tightly and securely into your warm chest. Shh. I want you to speak directly into their ear right now, with the most comforting, deeply loving voice you can possibly imagine. Gently tell them that the scary, unpredictable person is completely gone. Tell them that you firmly locked the heavy iron door, and you are never, absolutely ever, letting that toxic, chaotic energy back inside this beautiful house. You have completely taken over. You are the strong, capable adult now. You are the fierce, unwavering protector of this sacred space, and no one will ever protector of this sacred space. And no one will ever bypass your boundaries again to hurt them. Tell them that they do not have to be so afraid anymore. They do not have to constantly perform. They do not have to walk on eggshells. And they absolutely do not have to be flawless just to earn basic human respect and love. They are inherently worthy of immense love exactly as they are. Just physically feel the incredible, profound release as your inner child finally exhales a heavy, shaky breath they have been holding in for so very long. Feel their tiny muscles completely relax as they finally realize they are truly safe. They are completely melting into your warm, fiercely safe embrace. All this time, embrace. All this time, you have been endlessly, desperately begging a fundamentally broken and toxic person to give you the love, the validation, and the security that you needed to feel whole. But as you hold your inner child right now, you realize the most profound, beautiful truth. You are actively giving yourself the exact profound love and absolute unwavering security that you have been searching for in the outside world. You always had it entirely inside you. You are the ultimate healer of your own deep wounds. You do not need the narcissist to validate your reality, because you're validating it yourself right now. The broken mirror is shattered, and you are finally seeing your own beautiful, pure reflection. A heavy burden of needing their approval is completely lifted off your tired shoulders. You and your inner child are entirely whole. You are completely independent. Just rest here together on the floor of your beautiful mind, bathed in the warm golden light of the fire. Completely safe, completely safe, completely untouched, and perfectly, beautifully at peace. Now that you're completely safe in this beautiful, protected house with your inner child, now that the heavy oak door is securely locked against the chaotic winter storm outside, we need to perform one final, incredibly powerful piece of physical healing tonight. I want you to gently bring your full conscious awareness directly to the absolute center of your chest, right over your tired, beating heart. If you look very closely with your mind's eye right now, you'll notice that there is a thick, dark, heavy energetic cord attached directly to your chest space. This invisible, toxic cord stretches all the way under the door and out into the dark, freezing forest, connecting you directly to that manipulative person. This heavy, leeching cord is exactly how they have been actively draining your precious life force, even when they are not physically in the same room as you. It is exactly how they manage to send their anxiety, their endless anger, and their deeply projected shame straight into your delicate nervous system. You can physically feel it pulling on you, keeping you forcefully tethered to their endless, exhausting drama. It feels so incredibly heavy, sticky, and profoundly dark against your light. But tonight, right here in the sacred space of absolute sovereign power, you are going to completely and permanently sever that toxic connection. You have the absolute authority to disconnect. I want you to slowly reach out your dominant hand in front of you. As you deliberately open your empty hand, vividly imagine a beautiful, brilliantly glowing sword made of pure, concentrated white light suddenly materializing in your firm grasp. The ornate handle feels perfectly weighted and incredibly solid in your hand. This is not a weapon of violence or revenge. This is the sacred, ancient sword of your own unyielding boundaries. This is the pure physical manifestation of your self-respect and your absolute, undeniable right to mental peace. Just physically feel the immense, vibrating power of this glowing light radiating in your hand. It is entirely fueled by your righteous anger and your deep, profound love for your own inner child. You are finally taking all of your stolen power back right now. I want you to prepare yourself. Take a massive, incredibly deep breath in through your nose, filling your lungs entirely with absolute strength and pristine clarity. Hold that powerful, expansive breath right at the very top. Feel the immense physical tension building, the absolute undeniable readiness to finally be free. And now, as you forcefully and slowly exhale all the heavy air out of your lungs, I want you to raise that glowing sword of light and strike it powerfully down, completely and cleanly slicing right through a thick, dark energetic cord. Snap. Shh. The toxic connection is instantly and violently broken. The heavy, dark cord instantly falls away from your chest, dropping uselessly to the floor before dissolving completely into nothingness. The dark tether is permanently gone. Just physically feel the immediate, breathtaking snap of absolute freedom flooding your body. Your chest instantly feels so incredibly light, as if a massive, crushing boulder has just been lifted completely off your lungs. The heavy, invisible pressure that was suffocating your guarded heart is completely and utterly gone. They can absolutely no longer reach you. They can no longer drain a single drop of your energy. They have absolutely zero access to your nervous system anymore. The dark pipeline of their toxicity has been permanently destroyed. I want you to take another deep, slow, tight, luxurious breath right into that newly created, beautiful empty space in your chest. Breathe in pure, golden, healing light, allowing it to completely seal and gently soothe the exact place where the cord used to be attached. Feel that warm, glowing golden light spreading from your chest, rolling down your arms, and flowing all the way down to your toes. You are completely energetically sealed, fully protected, and brilliantly whole once again. You do not owe them your energy, your private thoughts, or your precious healing sleep ever again. Just lay here in the quiet dark and feel the immense, weightless relief of true physical and energetic liberation. The heavy anchor is cut. You are finally, wonderfully, completely free to float away into the most profound and undisturbed rest. Just breathe into the lightness. Now that the toxic energetic cord is completely and permanently severed, and you are resting so deeply and so comfortably in your safe space, we arrive at a very profound and beautiful realization tonight. We need to talk softly about the clinical paradox of surrender. For such a very long time, you have been fiercely and desperately fighting against their memory, fighting against the profound injustice of their actions, fighting tirelessly just to make them finally understand your point of view. You honestly believed that if you just fought hard enough, if you just analyzed the situation from every possible angle, you could somehow control the outcome and force them to see the truth. But the psychological reality is, fighting them endlessly in your mind only kept the shadow alive in your nervous system. It continuously fed them your precious, irreplaceable energy. It is like playing a desperate, exhausting game of tug-of-war with a ghost, as long as you are pulling on your end of the rope. The tension remains perfectly tight, and the exhausting game continues. What happens if you simply choose to open your hands and drop your end of the heavy rope? The war instantly ends. The tension completely disappears. That is the true paradox of surrender. You do not win by pulling harder. You win by absolutely refusing to play the game. True, lasting peace. The deep, clinical peace that is washing over your heavy body right now does not come from finally winning the argument in your head. It comes directly from the practice of radical acceptance. I need you to know that radical acceptance absolutely does not mean that you agree with what they did to you. It does not mean that their manipulative behavior was right, or fair, or acceptable in any way. It simply means that you are consciously choosing to stop fighting the reality of who they actually are. You are gracefully surrendering the deeply exhausting illusion that you can somehow control, fix, or heal another human being who is committed to remaining broken. You cannot control their chaotic actions. You cannot control their twisted narrative, but you have absolute sovereign control over whether or not you allow them to ruin your peace tonight. When you finally and truly surrender the need to be understood by them, you completely stop giving them oxygen. You starve their shadow of the attention it desperately craves. I want you to imagine all of their toxic words, all of their confusing actions, and all of their unhealed trauma as nothing more than dry, dead leaves falling gently onto the surface of a fast-moving river. For years, you have been jumping into the freezing water, frantically trying to catch every single leaf, trying to closely examine it, trying to figure out exactly why it fell. But tonight, you are just going to sit peacefully on the warm, grassy riverbank. You are simply going to watch those dead leaves float away. They are just passing thoughts now. They are completely powerless. They have absolutely zero authority over your nervous system unless you actively reach out and grab them. Just let them drift past you. Let the dark river carry their chaos far away into the endless night. You absolutely do not need to analyze them anymore. The psychological case is officially closed. Just physically feel how your entire body responds to this massive, profound surrender. The tight, painful grip in the center of your mind completely loosens and melts away. The desperate, ego-driven need to be right naturally dissolves into the pure, simple desire to just be at peace. You are perfectly and completely safe here on the riverbank. Every single time a lingering thought about them tries to pop up in your quiet mind tonight, do not get angry at yourself. Just gently observe it, like a dead leaf on the water, and simply let it fall away. Do not feed it with your emotion. Do not fight it with your logic. Just surrender entirely to the quiet, beautiful emptiness of your protected mind. You are finally allowing yourself to simply exist, without having to defend your reality. Just sink deeper into the mattress, and beautifully, completely, let it all go. Now that you have completely surrendered the deeply exhausting need to constantly fight them, and the heavy toxic energetic cord has been permanently severed, there is a beautiful, vast empty space left inside your chest for a very long time. That specific sacred space was aggressively occupied by their loud, demanding, and chaotic voice. They forcefully filled your beautiful mind with their own dark insecurities, their twisted, calculated lies, and their constant, relentless criticism. When someone continuously manipulates and gaslights you for long enough, they're cruel. Their cruel, hypercritical voice slowly and tragically becomes your own inner voice. They intentionally plant tiny, poisonous seeds of profound self-doubt deep into the fertile soil of your trusting mind. They repeatedly told you that you're being way too sensitive. You are constantly remembering things wrong. You're entirely the root of the problem, and that you were incredibly lucky they even put up with you at all. But tonight, right here in the absolute safety of this dark room, we are going to meticulously and permanently uproot every single one of those poisonous weeds. We're going to deeply and fundamentally reprogram your core self-worth, right down to the very deepest roots of your subconscious mind. You are currently resting in a highly receptive, deeply hypnotic Theta brainwave state. Your beautiful, intelligent mind is wide open to absorbing the absolute truth, and it is completely, securely closed off to their manipulative lies. I want you to physically feel the heavy, suffocating weight of their false, distorted opinions actively evaporating into the quiet darkness of this room. Their cruel words hold absolutely no power here. They never did. I am going to softly speak a series of profound, clinical affirmations. I do not just want you to passively listen to them. I want you to actively feel them echoing and powerfully vibrating deeply inside the newly emptied space in your chest. Let these new, ancient truths permanently rewrite the damaged neural pathways in your exhausted brain. Listen closely to my voice, and let these specific words become your new, unshakable reality. I am the absolute, unshakable reality, sovereign ruler of my own mind. My perception of reality is completely valid, and I do not need a manipulative person to ever confirm it for me. I deeply and fundamentally trust my own intuition, because my intuition has always tried to protect me from their games. I am inherently worthy of profound love, genuine respect, and absolute peace, and simply because I exist in this world. I absolutely do not have to constantly perform or earn basic human decency, and I absolutely refuse to ever beg for it again. Just physically feel the incredible, undeniable power of those ancient truths slowly settling into your heavy, resting bones. For so long, you have desperately looked into their broken, distorted mirror, trying so hard to find your own beautiful reflection. You honestly thought that if they finally saw your worth, it would magically make it real. But your immense, radiant worth is absolutely not up for negotiation. It is not something that can be debated, diminished, or taken away by someone who is fundamentally committed to misunderstanding you. Their profound inability to see your pure light is absolutely not proof that you are standing in the dark. It is simply proof that they are completely, hopelessly blind. I want you to gently forgive yourself right now. Forgive yourself for staying in their toxic presence for as long as you did. Forgive yourself for believing their incredibly convincing lies. Your pure, loving, trusting heart simply did not know any better at the time. You were desperately operating on hope, not reality, but you know the absolute truth now, and you are making the incredibly brave choice to fiercely protect yourself tonight. Let go of any lingering shame. Their toxic shame absolutely does not belong in your beautiful house. Let us continue planting these beautiful, golden seeds of self-worth deep into your resting nervous system. I completely release the heavy. Soul-crushing burden of trying to heal them. I am perfectly safe, and how I protected when I choose to confidently walk away from their toxicity. My compassionate heart is a magnificent, rare gift, and from now on, I choose to fiercely protect exactly who gets access to it. I am completely whole, entirely on my own. I absolutely do not need their chaotic energy to feel alive or validated. Feel exactly how your physical body responds to these powerful, undeniable truths. Your tight, exhausted shoulders drop even lower, sinking heavily into the soft mattress. The thick defensive armor around your heart completely melts away into nothingness. The tiny, strained muscles in your face are perfectly, beautifully relaxed. You are finally returning to your original, untouched factory settings. You are actively returning to the pure, pristine state of peace you had before they ever walked into your beautiful life. You are entirely rewriting the script of your life right now. You are no longer the tragic victim of their endless manipulation. You are the fierce, empowered survivor who finally recognized the illusion, dropped the heavy rope, and calmly walked out of their chaotic theater. You have taken your precious, beautiful voice back. You are deeply anchored in your own truth, and nothing may ever do, or say, or threaten, can ever shake this profound inner foundation again. Just rest in this absolute, unshakable certainty. Sink deeper and deeper and deeper into the magnificent, golden warmth of your newly reclaimed self-worth. Shh. You are safe. You are worthy. You are finally home. You have done all of the heavy emotional lifting for tonight. You have successfully reclaimed your beautiful sacred space. You have permanently locked the heavy iron door, and you have completely replanted the deep roots of your own sovereign self-worth. Now, it is finally time to leave the conscious waking world entirely behind us. We are going to gently transition from this state of deep physical relaxation into the vast, infinite open space of your profound healing dreams. I'm going to very slowly count backwards from 5 down to 1 with every single descending number. I want you to physically feel the solid boundaries of this room and the boundaries of your own physical body, gently melting away into the soft darkness. 5. Drifting deeper and deeper into the heavy, old and warm. Just feel the physical mattress beneath you slowly beginning to lose its solid shape. It feels as though you are resting on a thick, supportive cloud of warm mist. The heavy gravity of the waking world is completely losing its tight grip on your tired muscles. You are completely untethered from the exhausting demands of the day and totally disconnected from their chaotic timeline. You are stepping softly into the quiet hallway of dreams, where their toxic rules simply do not exist, for gently letting go of all human language and waking logic. You absolutely do not need to think in complete sentences anymore. The highly analytical part of your intelligent brain is entirely shutting down, powering off for the night. Words are simply losing their shape and their meaning. Shh. If a stray thought tries to form in your quiet mind, it immediately dissolves into a soft, meaningless whisper before you can even understand it. You are communicating only in feelings now. Feelings of absolute safety. Feelings of profound floating peace. Feelings of profound floating peace. 3. Tree. Drifting seamlessly across the quiet threshold of deep, restorative sleep. The soft shadows in the room are gently wrapping around your heavy shoulders like a thick, weighted protective blanket. All of the toxic energy, all of the confusing conversations, and all of the heavy manipulation from earlier today are completely erased. They are nothing more than a forgotten dream that belongs to someone else. You are completely insulated in this pristine, untouched void. Your beautiful mind is entirely empty. Beautiful, beautiful, blank, and perfectly still, too. Floating so incredibly close to the final edge of the dark void. The physical concept of time is completely vanished. There is no yesterday, and there is no tomorrow. There is only this single, endlessly expanding moment of perfect dark peace. My voice is slowly becoming a very distant, echoing vibration in the vast expanse of your resting mind. The slow, rhythmic beating of your healing heart is the only sound that truly matters now. Every single exhale pushes you deeper and deeper into the formless void. You are losing the outline of where your body ends and where the quiet room begins. You are becoming one with the perfect stillness and one. Completely and utterly surrender. You are letting go of the very last tiny thread of conscious control. You're stepping completely out of the waking house and falling gently into the vast and beautiful, formless wilderness of your own deep sleep. There is absolutely nothing left to hold on to, and nothing left to figure out. You're just floating, drifting, falling so deeply and so effortlessly into the most profound, uninterrupted healing rest. The conscious mind is closed. You are entirely free. You have finally and completely crossed the quiet, invisible threshold into the deep, profound world of your own healing dreams. The physical room around you, the heavy bed, the walls, and all the lingering echoes of the waking world have completely faded away into the soft, formless dark void. As the absolute stillness settles over your resting mind, you slowly find yourself standing quietly at the edge of a magnificent, ancient winter forest. This is the sacred forest of the departure. It is a pristine, entirely untouched wilderness that exists solely and exclusively for you. I want you to gently look down at your feet right now. You are standing on a narrow, winding path entirely covered in the purest, most brilliant white snow you have ever seen in your entire life. It is flawlessly smooth, glittering softly like millions of tiny crushed diamonds under the night sky. It is completely untouched. There are absolutely no footprints here, no broken branches, no signs that anyone else has ever walked this beautiful path before you. This entire ancient world has been patiently waiting in absolute silence, waiting entirely for your arrival. You are completely bundled up in a very thick, incredibly heavy, and wonderfully warm winter coat. You can feel the comforting, heavy weight of it wrapping securely around your shoulders. Keeping your core perfectly safe and entirely protected from the elements, the air here is incredibly crisp, beautifully cold, and profoundly pure. It carries the clean, sharp scent of ancient pine needles and frozen earth. I want you to take a very slow, incredibly deep breath of this freezing, pristine winter air right now. Feel it entering your lungs like a refreshing, glowing stream of liquid silver, instantly purifying and deeply cleansing every single tired cell inside your heavy chest. This powerful cold air is actively washing away the very last lingering shadows of the exhausting day, sweeping away the heavy. It leaves you feeling incredibly light, brilliantly clear, and wonderfully empty inside. And as you slowly exhale, you can visibly see your warm breath forming a small, pale white cloud in the silver moonlight, gently carrying away any remaining physical tension from your relaxing body, watching it dissolve completely into the freezing night air. You slowly begin to walk forward, taking your very first step onto the pristine path leading deep into the ancient forest. With every single slow, deliberate step you take, you hear the soft, deeply satisfying crunch of the fresh snow compressing beneath your heavy winter boots. Crunch, 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 crunch. It is a remarkably slow, perfectly rhythmic, and profoundly hypnotic sound. I want you to focus your entire mind entirely on the simple, steady rhythm of your own footsteps. It is the steady heartbeat of the winter forest. This soft crunching of the snow is absolutely the only sound in the entire world right now. Just listen to the magnificent, stretching silence that exists between each step. There are no loud, demanding voices aggressively calling your name here. There are no confusing, twisted arguments to desperately decode. There are no unpredictable mood swings to anxiously manage. there is absolutely no one here to manipulate your reality, to unfairly judge your reactions, or to intentionally make you feel small and unworthy. The chaotic, noisy, emotionally draining world of that toxic person is a million miles away, completely and permanently locked out of this sacred dimension. They absolutely cannot cross the borders into this ancient forest. Their heavy, dark energies simply cannot survive in this pure, freezing, crystal clear air. You are finally, wonderfully, and entirely alone. And in this vast, beautiful winter solitude, you are perfectly and completely safe. You slowly look up from the snowy path and gaze at the towering, ancient pine trees that line both sides of your journey. They are absolutely massive, standing like silent, eternal guardians reaching high up toward the starry night sky. Their dark green branches are heavily weighed down by thick, soft blankets of pristine snow. They have stood here in perfect peace for hundreds of years, unbothered by the chaos of the outside world. They offer you their quiet strength and their unwavering protection. High above the protective canopy of the ancient trees, a massive, glowing silver moon hangs perfectly still in the midnight sky. Its pure, gentle light filters down through the snow-covered branches, casting long, soft, blue shadows across the white forest floor. The moonlight is actively illuminating the path directly in front of you, gently guiding you forward. Exactly where you need to go. You do not need a map. You do not need to figure anything out or plan your next move. Your deep subconscious mind knows exactly how to navigate this peaceful terrain. All you have to do is surrender to the journey. Keep walking. With every single step you take deeper into the silent forest, you can physically feel the heavy, invisible baggage of the waking world simply dropping off your shoulders and disappearing into the snow behind you. The exhausting need to constantly defend yourself is gone. The desperate desire to be understood by someone who refuses to listen is completely gone. The deep, aching pain of their betrayal is freezing over and shattering into harmless dust. You are stepping further and further away from the dense gravity of your past, and floating effortlessly toward the absolute center of your own healing. Your heavy eyelids are becoming so incredibly difficult to keep open, even in this dream. Your physical body is sinking deeper and deeper into the warm mattress in your quiet room, completely synchronized with your slow, rhythmic footsteps in the snow. Crunch, crunch, crunch. The deep winter silence is wrapping around you like a heavy, comforting blanket. You are drifting so far away now. There is nothing to do. To be, no one else to worry about. You are simply a quiet observer, walking peacefully through the breathtaking beauty of your own mind. Completely untouchable, and profoundly at peace. Just keep drifting, deeper and deeper into the snowy woods. Let the journey carry you away. As you continue to walk deeper and deeper into the absolute heart of the quiet, ancient winter forest, surrounded by the towering, protective pine trees, you slowly begin to notice a subtle shift in the pristine air. The absolute, magnificent silence of the snowy woods is gently interrupted by a new, incredibly soothing sound. It is very faint at first, almost like a distant whisper. Just a gentle, rhythmic trickling of moving water somewhere slightly ahead of you. You slowly follow this beautiful, melodic sound, allowing it to naturally guide your heavy, relaxed footsteps through the thick, untouched snow. This sound grows just a little bit clearer with every single step you take. You realize that somewhere in this freezing, the magical winter landscape, there is a body of water that absolutely refuses to freeze. It is constantly moving, constantly flowing, completely alive. Soon, the massive pine trees gently part before you like a grand curtain, revealing a small, hidden clearing perfectly illuminated by the glowing silver moonlight. And right in the very center of this clearing, you find yourself standing at the edge of a magnificent, winding winter stream. This stream is an absolute miracle of nature. Despite the freezing winter air all around you, the water is flowing effortlessly over smooth, dark stones. It is crystal clear, completely transparent, and profoundly pure. The bright moonlight reflects off the surface, making the water look like a flowing ribbon of pure liquid silver. This is the sacred stream of absolute purification. It has been flowing here for thousands of years, completely untouched by the toxic chaos of the outside world. It has been waiting here specifically for you to arrive tonight. You slowly, very deliberately, lower your heavy body down. Kneeling gently at the edge of the soft, snowy bank, you look deeply into the flowing water, and for the first time in a very long time, and you see your own beautiful, authentic reflection staring back at you. Not the distorted, flawed reflection that the manipulative person constantly tried to force you to see, but your true self, pure, radiant, and entirely whole. You slowly take off your heavy winter gloves, placing them softly on the snow beside you. You reach out, and you gently dip your bare fingertips directly into the flowing stream. Shh. The water is breathtakingly cold, an immediate, piercing rush of icy purity. But it does not hurt. Instead, it feels incredibly, profoundly refreshing to your exhausted nervous system. It feels absolutely electric, like touching pure, concentrated liquid light. You slowly cup your bare hands together, carefully scooping up a handful of this pristine, freezing water. You bring your cupped hands up to your tired face, and you gently press the icy water against your closed eyes, your cheeks, and your forehead. As the freezing and your forehead. As the freezing, pure water touches your warm skin, something absolutely miraculous and deeply physical begins to happen. You can actually feel the heavy, toxic, energetic residue of their relentless manipulation, physically washing away from your physical body. Every single harsh, cruel word they ever spoke to you in anger. Every carefully calculated lie they told to gaslight your reality. Every heavy, suffocating feeling of unwarranted shame they forced you to carry is being completely and utterly cleansed from your open pores. The icy water is actively dissolving the thick, heavy layer of self-doubt that they intentionally painted over your beautiful mind. You slowly scoop up another handful of the glowing silver water, and you wash your face again. You feel the water running down your neck, washing over your throat. The throat chakra. The physical center of your precious voice. The voice that they constantly tried to silence and suppress. You're actively washing away every single time you had to swallow your true feelings just to keep the fragile peace. You're washing away all the unspoken boundaries and the suppressed anger. The icy purity of the stream is restoring your voice, clearing away the heavy blockages, leaving your throat feeling incredibly open, incredibly clear, and wonderfully lean. Incredibly and wonderfully light. Now you plunge both of your bare hands and your wrists deep into the flowing stream. You are actively washing away the invisible, sticky fingerprints they left all over your personal energy field. You are scrubbing away the heavy feeling of their controlling expectations. You are releasing the deeply exhausting need to constantly walk on eggshells around them. Feel the intense, vibrating cold of the water completely numbing the lingering pain. Drawing out the deep, invisible venom of their toxicity from your bloodstream, pulling it right out through your fingertips. You kneel there in the quiet moonlight, watching the water drip from your cleansed hands back into the flowing stream. And as you watch, you can actually see the stream catching all of that dark, exhausted, toxic, exhausted, toxic energy. You watch it effortlessly carry all of their projected chaos away from you. The fast-moving water sweeps the heavy shadow down the mountain, over the smooth stones, and entirely out of your existence forever. It is completely gone. You are totally and completely clean. You are profoundly purified. The heavy, crushing burden you have been carrying for so long is entirely gone. You officially returned to your absolute, most innocent, original, dodged state of being. You are completely sovereign. Their manipulative energy can never attach to you again. You are shielded by this icy purity. Just stay kneeling by the stream for a few more moments. Breathe in the incredibly crisp, clean, freezing air. Let the profound, magnificent emptiness of your completely cleansed mind wash over you. Your physical body is sinking so incredibly deep into the soft mattress now, feeling entirely weightless, entirely unburdened. You have washed away the past. You have completely purified your present. You are perfectly ready to drift even deeper into the void. Just listen to the soft, melodic trickling of the stream and surrender to the magnificent peace of being completely, perfectly clean, just like a mandrift. Now that you are completely and utterly cleansed by the icy purity of the winter stream, you slowly stand up from the soft, snowy bank. You feel physically lighter than you have in years, as if invisible. Crushing gravitational pull has completely released its hold on your tired body. You take one last look at the flowing silver water carrying their dark energy far away, and you slowly turn to continue your journey into the magnificent forest. As you walk, you gently notice a very soft, glowing, golden light flickering somewhere in the distance, cutting through the deep blue shadows of the pine trees. It is a warm, inviting light that calls directly to your peaceful heart. You follow it, letting your slow, rhythmic footsteps guide you through the pristine snow. The towering trees begin to part, revealing the most breathtaking structure you have ever seen. Nestled perfectly against the side of a massive, snow-covered mountain is an ancient, majestic stone sanctuary. It does not look like it was built by human hands, but rather as if it grew organically out of the living rock itself. It is ancient, undeniably strong, and fiercely permanent. You slowly walk up the wide stone steps, completely mesmerized by the feeling of absolute safety that radiates from the very walls of the structure. At the top of the steps is a massive, arched wooden door, built from the thickest, oldest timber. You do not need a key for this door. You simply reach out your clean, bare hand and place it flat against the ancient wood. The sanctuary instantly recognizes your unique, purified, energetic signature and knows exactly who you are. The massive door opens effortlessly and completely silently, gently inviting you to step inside. You slowly step over the thick stone threshold. As soon as your feet touch the floor inside, the heavy wooden door slowly closes behind you with a deep, resounding, incredibly satisfying thud. Click. Shh. You reach out and turn the massive iron deadbolt, sliding it firmly into place. The physical sound of that heavy lock engaging sends a profound wave of absolute finality vibrating through your entire nervous system. You are completely sealed inside. The freezing winter wind outside is instantly muted. The entire chaotic universe and everyone in it is completely locked out. The interior of this magnificent sanctuary is breathtaking. It is a vast, circular room with high domed ceilings. Right in the very center of the stone floor is a large, perfectly contained circular fire pit. A beautiful, roaring fire is burning brightly, casting long, dancing golden shadows across the thick stone walls. The entire room is completely bathed in a rich, deeply comforting amber light. The air in here is not just warm. It is thick with the pure, dark, concentrated essence of absolute peace. I want you to understand the profound, magical nature of this specific sanctuary. This is the ultimate fortress of your sovereign mind, the highly manipulative, toxic person who was draining your energy absolutely cannot ever find this place, even if they somehow wandered into the forest. Ancient trees would actively shift to hide the path from them. Their heavy, dense, chaotic energy simply cannot exist in this high frequency of pure authenticity. If they ever try to approach these ancient stone walls, the absolute truth of this sacred place would shatter their fragile ego. This sanctuary violently rejects manipulation. It completely repels gaslighting, and it is absolutely impenetrable to anyone who does not carry pure intentions. They are locked out forever. You are untouchable. You walk slowly toward the glowing fire in the center of the room. Surrounding the fire pit is a massive, incredibly inviting bed made of the softest cushions. Thick, woven blankets made of the softest cushions. Heavy, luxurious, both hers. You gently lower your tired body down into this soft, incredibly supportive nest. You lay back, completely supportive nest. You lay back, completely surrounded by the plush pillows. You reach out and pull a remarkably thick, weighted blanket up over your chest, tucking it securely under your chin, tucking it securely under your chin. Just physically feel the deep, radiant, golden heat from the roaring fire beginning to penetrate your cold bones. It is actively melting away the very last microscopic traces of frost and tension in your muscles. The warmth spreads slowly down your spine, wrapping around your hips, and flowing heavily down into your legs and your toes. Your physical body feels as heavy as the ancient stones that built this sanctuary. You are melting completely into the floor. Look around the beautiful, firelit room. Listen to the magnificent, absolute silence that exists beneath the soft, rhythmic crackling of the burning wood. There is absolutely nothing here but you and your profound peace. You are currently experiencing the ultimate luxury of glorious, 200 started, glorious solitude. Glorious solitude is not the same as being lonely. Loneliness is the painful absence of connection, but glorious solitude. What you are feeling right now is the beautiful, triumphant return to yourself. In this room, you absolutely do not have to explain yourself to anyone. You do not have to carefully monitor your tone of voice. You do not have to eagerly perform, or prove your worth, or tirelessly defend your perfectly valid reality. You do not have to be the understanding caregiver or the bigger person. Here, you are allowed to simply exist. You are allowed to be completely still, drawn to, completely silent, and utterly blank. The deeply exhausting demands of the outside world have completely evaporated. The glowing embers of the fire is softly pulsing with a hypnotic, rhythmic light. Your heavy eyelids simply cannot stay open any longer. Your breathing has slowed down to merge the deep, ancient pulse of the mountain itself. Every single exhale pushes you deeper and deeper into the heavy furs. The thick stone walls stand guard around you, an impenetrable fortress keeping you perfectly safe through the long night. You are completely insulated from all harm. You are deeply cherished by your own soul. Just sink entirely into the golden warmth. Surrender completely to the glorious solitude, and let the absolute safety of the sanctuary pull you effortlessly down into the deepest, darkest, most restorative void of sleep. Shh, there's nothing left to do. You are finding home as you lay perfectly still in this impossibly soft, luxurious bed, safely hidden deep inside your ancient stone sanctuary. We have reached the most profound stage of your journey tonight. This is the sacred phase of complete energetic integration. You have successfully evicted the chaotic guest. You have permanently locked the heavy iron door. And you have thoroughly cleansed your spirit in the freezing winter stream. Now, there is absolutely nothing left for you to do but simply exist and allow your exhausted body to actively heal itself in this glorious, uninterrupted solitude. I want you to gently bring your soft, fading attention to the exact points where your heavy body touches the thick mattress beneath you. Feel the massive, ancient gravity of the mountain gently pulling you down, inviting you to sink deeper and deeper into the layers of woven blankets and heavy faux furs. But at the exact same time, notice a beautiful, contradicting sensation spreading through your chest. Even as you sink heavily into the bed, you feel incredibly, wonderfully light. It feels as though the thick mattress is slowly transforming into a warm, supportive cloud, allowing you to gently float. Completely weightless, in the center of the dark room. This profound weightlessness is the physical sensation of finally putting down the invisible, crushing burden of their manipulation. For so long, you have been tightly holding your own shattered pieces together, terrified that if you relaxed your grip for even one single second, you would completely fall apart. You have spent countless exhausting nights trying to logically tape together a reality that they deliberately smashed. But here, in this perfectly safe, perfectly isolated sanctuary, you do not have to hold yourself together anymore. I want you to give yourself the absolute permission to completely fall apart. Right here in the soft darkness, let the heavy pieces fall. It is perfectly safe to let go. As you finally relax your desperate grip, as you completely surrender to the warm, floating sensation, a profound energetic healing begins to take place deep inside your chest. I want you to vividly imagine a rich, glowing liquid gold slowly pooling in the center of your heart. This beautiful golden light is the pure, concentrated essence of your own self-love, your own fierce self-respect, and your own deep well of compassion. This glowing gold begins to slowly flow outward, gently seeping into all the invisible cracks and deep emotional fractures that their toxic words and cruel gaslighting left behind in your beautiful soul. Just like the ancient Japanese art of kintsugi, where broken pottery is lovingly repaired with pure gold. Your deep emotional wounds are not being hidden or ignored. They are being completely filled, honored, and permanently sealed with this radiant, honored, and permanently sealed with this radiant, healing light. The places where you are broken are becoming the strongest, most beautiful, and most luminous parts of your entire being. You can actually physically feel this warm golden light slowly moving through your nervous system, actively repairing the damaged neural pathways, soothing the raw, inflamed edges of your anxiety, and restoring a deep structural integrity to your sovereign mind. You are absolutely not fundamentally broken. You were simply exhausted from loving someone who was committed to hurting you. But now, you are becoming completely, magnificently whole again. The soft darkness of the sanctuary wraps around you like a heavy, velvety, protective cocoon. This is not the scary, isolating darkness of the outside world. The dark where you used to lie awake overthinking their chaotic behavior. No, this is a deeply comforting, deeply maternal darkness. It is the fertile, quiet darkness of the womb. The dark soil where new seeds are safely planted, quietly nourished. In this profound darkness, their loud voice has completely ceased to exist. Their critical opinions have completely evaporated into nothingness. There is absolutely no trace of their toxic energy anywhere in your energetic field. Your breathing is now becoming incredibly slow and perfectly rhythmic. With every single slow and perfectly rhythmic, with every single slow inhale, you are effortlessly drawing in the pure, golden healing energy that fills this sacred room. And with every single extended exhale, you are sinking twice as deeply into the profound void of restorative rest. I want you to gently expand your awareness just beyond your physical body and feel the deep, ancient pulse of the massive stone mountain surrounding you. The mountain is breathing with you. Your slow, steady heartbeat is perfectly synchronizing with the slow, steady heartbeat of the earth itself. You are deeply anchored to the solid core of the planet. You are entirely supported, completely grounded, and flawlessly protected. Nothing can possibly uproot you now. The toxic storm outside the heavy doors could rage for 1,000 years, and it would never, ever disturb the absolute peace of this moment. They are completely powerless. You have successfully taken your beautiful, irreplaceable life back. Just let yourself drift now, floating endlessly in this warm, floating, weightless void. Golden, weightless void. There's absolutely no concept of time in this ancient room. There's no rush to wake up, no pressure to perform. You have all the time in the universe to simply rest and heal and integrate your profound newfound strength. Your mind is beautifully blank, completely free from the exhausting chains of overanalyzing and over-explaining. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. You are the sole architect of your own peace. You are the fierce protector of your own magnificent light. The healing is complete. The golden light has sealed every single crack. You are a masterpiece of resilience. Just sink and float and let the magnificent silence pull you incredibly deep into the final stages of the most profound, undisturbed, and healing sleep of your entire life. You are perfectly whole. You are perfectly safe. You are finally, truly home. Listen to the soft, fading crackle of the embers in the stone fire pit. The bright flames have slowly died down into a deep. The bright flames have slowly died down into a deep, dark, glowing crimson red, casting the faintest, warmest light across your resting face. The rich, luxurious faux furs beneath you feel impossibly soft against your skin, providing a heavy, grounding comfort that allows your mind to completely let go of any remaining anchors to the physical world. You are suspended in the state of pure. You are suspended in the state of pure, uninterrupted grace. The air is so perfectly still, so entirely undisturbed, that you can almost hear the sound of your own soul softly humming with contentment. Every single cell in your body is quietly rejoicing in this absolute freedom. The invisible chains that kept you bound to their confusing reality have completely dissolved into dust. You're entirely your own. The magnificent silence stretches out in every direction, an endless ocean of peace that belongs entirely to you. You are completely enveloped in the gentle, loving arms of the void, drifting further and further away from the shores of consciousness. The gentle darkness completely carry you. You are drifting now, drifting so incredibly far away from the shallow shores of the waking world. The heavy, solid stone walls of your beautiful, ancient sanctuary are very slowly beginning to blur at the edges, losing their hard physical shapes, and gently melting away into the soft, comforting, surrounding darkness. The bright, dancing golden flames of the central fire are slowly fading into a distant, warm, hazy amber glow that simply hovers in the vast empty space behind your heavy closed eyes. You are no longer tethered to the physical world or its exhausting demands. You are tired. Overworked mind is finally untethering from the rigid, punishing rules of human logic. The heavy, oppressive concept of time is completely dissolving into the vast, endless dark void. Minutes and hours simply do not exist here. You do not need to actively listen to or try to understand my words anymore. Just let the rhythmic, low sound of my voice wash over you, like a slow, like a slow, gentle wave on a midnight ocean. The heavy physical weight of your resting body has entirely evaporated. Your arms and legs feel so incredibly distant, as if they belong to the bed itself. You are floating, completely and utterly weightless, in a soft mattress. The heavy, luxurious faux furs, the thick, woven blankets, they are all seamlessly dissolving into pure, formless energy. You are slowly shedding the heavy physical suit of your waking life. You are becoming pure, unburdened consciousness, suspended in the absolute quiet of the deep night. There's absolutely no heavy yesterday for you to painfully regret or overanalyze. There is absolutely no demanding tomorrow for you to anxiously plan for or dread. There is no right, and there is no right, and there is no wrong. There is absolutely no one here to judge you, no one to question your worth, and no one here to manipulate your fragile reality. There is only this single, endlessly expanding, magnificent moment of perfect, undisturbed peace. Shh, you are drifting further, and further, and further, and further away from the noisy, chaotic shores of human consciousness. Any lingering faces, any sharp names, any harsh memories of the painful past, they are all melting away, just like tiny fragile snowflakes landing gently on warm, dark water. They simply touch the vast surface of your peaceful mind and instantly dissolve into nothingness. You could not hold on to those exhausting, racing thoughts right now, even if you desperately tried to grasp them in the beautiful, liberating truth is. And you absolutely do not want to try. It feels so incredibly, profoundly good to just finally let go, to let the heavy, freeing ropes slip completely through your tired fingers, to completely surrender the desperate, ego-driven need to control, to understand, or to fix anything at all, as you drift even deeper into this vast, beautiful, empty space. The very concept of you and them completely disappears. There's no longer a wounded victim or cruel villain. There's no dramatic conflict. There is absolutely no toxic energy to fight off or defend against. In this profound, formless state of the downward drift, the person who hurt you and manipulated you simply does not exist. Their low, chaotic frequency absolutely cannot reach this deep into the void. They are entirely erased from this sacred dimension of healing. You are completely insulated in a thick, impenetrable protective bubble of deep delta sleep waves. Your waking mind is fragmenting in the most beautiful, relaxing, and natural way. Linear thoughts are gently breaking apart, turning into soft, abstract colors, slow-moving shadows, and gentle ripples of pure feeling. You are completely losing the distinct boundary of where your physical body ends and where the endless, quiet universe begins. You are slowly merging with the quiet, ancient stillness of the heavy mountain, merging with the deep rotation of the earth, merging with the vast, empty expanse of the night sky. The deep, rhythmic rise and fall of your resting chest is completely synchronized with the slow, eternal pulse of the planet itself. Every single time you softly exhale, you are pushed gently, but inevitably, deeper and deeper into the welcoming void. It is a glorious, luxurious downward drift into the absolute purest, most untainted form of rest. Human words are becoming completely meaningless sounds now. Structured sentences are breaking apart into random, soothing syllables. The waking logic is entirely gone, washed away by the tide. There is only the profound physical feeling of golden warmth, the absolute feeling of unconditional safety, and the magnificent feeling of finally letting go. dark. Healing water of deep sleep is rising gently around you, completely supporting your weightless essence, carrying you effortlessly downstream into the dark. You are completely surrendered to the pull of the current. You do not need to swim against it. You do not need to actively navigate or steer. The current of your own deep subconscious knows exactly where to take you tonight. It is taking you to the absolute quiet center of your own profound healing and restoration. Just drift, simply drift, and allow the heavy, velvet curtain of sleep to fall completely over your tired mind. The magnificent silence is absolute and unbroken. The profound safety is entirely unconditional. The deep peace is infinite and boundless. Drift into the beautiful, restorative nothingness. You are entirely free from the chains of manipulation. You are entirely whole and unbreakable. You're perfectly and wonderfully drifting into sleep. Drifting into sleep. Let the quiet darkness hold you now. Let the deep, heavy rest take over completely. Drift away, drift away, drift away, drift away. Drift away into the endless healing void. You have finally arrived at the absolute, undeniable center of the night. You have drifted completely past the active realm of vivid dreams, past the colorful landscapes and the shifting symbols of your imagination, and you have gently descended into the most profound, magnificent, and undisturbed layer of human rest. This is the quiet void. This is the ancient, formless ocean of the deep, unconscious mind. There's absolutely no physical light here. And yet it is not a scary darkness, and it's simply a pristine state of pure, unadulterated existence. The heavy physical world of the waking hours has completely melted away. The solid stone walls of the mountain sanctuary have beautifully dissolved into the ether, leaving only the quiet, eternal. Eternal. Bio-rhythmic pulse of your own beautiful soul, you're floating completely effortlessly in a magnificent, endless ocean of comforting nothingness. In this incredibly deep, vast void, there are absolutely no memories for your tired brain to process or categorize. The heavy, painful past has been completely erased and uninstalled from this specific dimension of rest. The chaotic, highly manipulative person who hurt you so deeply. They're entirely and permanently gone. They're toxic, critical words. They're demanding presence. They're twisted, fabricated version of reality. They absolutely cannot survive or exist in this pure, high frequency of ultimate peace. They are not just locked out of the room. The very concept of their existence simply does not register here. You do not even need to actively think about healing or actively focus on protecting yourself anymore, because the intense, heavy work of healing is already completely done. You are simply resting in the magnificent, weightless aftermath of a beautiful, permanent liberation. Your physical breathing is so incredibly slow and shallow now, perfectly matching the deep, slow, majestic rotation of the earth itself. Every single time you softly and effortlessly exhale, you are pushed gently, but inevitably, even deeper into this incredibly comfortable, endlessly supporting emptiness. There are absolutely no vivid dreams here to decode or analyze. There are no complex images, no stressful scenarios, and no lingering emotional echoes for your tired brain to process. It is just a profound, heavy, dreamless sleep. This is the exact kind of deep, clinical, restorative sleep that fundamentally repairs your frayed nervous system at a microscopic cellular level It is the absolute deep rest that actively restores your exhausted mind, deeply rejuvenates your physical body, and completely replenishes your precious and touchable spirit. You are completely and utterly insulated in this vast, formless space. The void is gently wrapping around your formless energy, like a heavy, velvety, impenetrable blanket of absolute. Impenetrable blanket of absolute. Unconditional safety. You are suspended perfectly in a state of absolute sensory deprivation, where the only thing you can possibly feel is the profound, ultimate luxury of not having to feel anything at all. You absolutely do not have to be the good person here. You do not have to be the strong survivor. You do not have to carry any human labels, roles, or exhausting identities. You are simply a quiet, glowing point of pure awareness, resting beautifully and peacefully in the infinite dark. Just completely and totally surrender to the magnificent quiet of this space. Let the absolute, stretching silence hold you securely in its gentle, invisible hands. The endless, chaotic noise of the human experience has completely faded into a microscopic dot, leaving you entirely alone in the most glorious, comforting, and triumphant way possible. The heavy, rusty anchor of their psychological manipulation has been permanently severed and dropped to the bottom of the sea. You are drifting entirely freely in the vast, uncharted expanse of your own sovereign universe. There is absolutely nothing to achieve or prove here. There is nothing to logically understand. The frustrating open loops of anxiety and self-doubt have been completely closed, sealed shut, and locked away forever with blinding golden light. As you drift even deeper and deeper into the absolute center of the silent void, you realize with absolute clarity that this emptiness is not terrifying or lonely. It is incredibly, profoundly fertile. It is incredibly, profoundly fertile. It is the pure, blank canvas of your brand new reality, not washed completely clean of their toxic, sticky fingerprints. You have successfully and fiercely reclaimed every single drop of your stolen energy. You are completely and undeniably whole. You are perfectly unharmed and untouched by that chaos. You are deeply and unconditionally cherished by the quiet universe. Just let the formless, beautiful dark carry you away completely now. Let the deep, heavy, hypnotic slumber pull you all the way down to the very bottom of the ocean of peace. The long journey is finally over. The mind is perfectly quiet. The soul is beautifully resting. You are completely, perfectly, and eternally free. Shh. Drift away into the beautiful, healing nothingness. You are now resting beautifully and completely in the absolute deepest, most profound layer of healing sleep. But right before my voice fades away completely into the quiet night, I need to plant one final, incredibly powerful clinical anchor deep into your highly receptive subconscious mind. I want your mind to hold on to this absolute truth tomorrow morning, when the soft morning sunlight first touches your resting face, and you slowly, peacefully open your eyes. You will feel incredibly, profoundly refreshed and light. You will wake up with a quiet, undeniable sense of absolute peace vibrating in your chest. The heavy, toxic chains of their emotional manipulation have been completely and permanently severed tonight. You absolutely will not wake up thinking about them. Their chaotic, demanding energy has been entirely locked outside of your pristine reality forever. If their name, or their face, or their memory even attempts to enter your conscious mind tomorrow, it will simply bounce harmlessly off your thick, invisible energetic shield. You will feel completely and utterly indifferent to their existence. They hold absolutely zero power over your beautiful, reclaimed day. You are the absolute zero power over your beautiful, reclaimed day. You are the absolute, sovereign ruler of your own mind now. You have successfully taken your sacred space back, and your precious life force is entirely your own again. Shh. You did the incredibly hard, brave emotional work tonight. You bravely faced the dark shadow. You fiercely locked the heavy iron door, and you finally chose to protect yourself. I am so incredibly proud of your quiet, resilient strength. Now, there's absolutely nothing left to do but float in the comforting, endless dark. My voice is going to gently fade away now, leaving you resting perfectly in this undisturbed, magnificent silence. The deep healing frequencies will continue to play softly in the background, keeping you perfectly safe, deeply anchored, and completely protected through the entire long night. Just drift now. Let the gentle, heavy current of the silent void carry you completely away. There is nowhere else to be. You are perfectly safe. You are profoundly loved by your own soul. You are finally, entirely free. Sleep now. Good night.